When you think of Minnesota, you probably think of lakes, right? Maybe cold winters. But what if I told you that this one state holds a secret history, a story that literally helped shape the outcome of the 20th century? Well, that's what we're digging into today. We're going to uncover the hidden power that's been lying just beneath the surface of the North Star State all along. So let's just cut right to the chase. Here's the big central question. How on earth did one state, right in the middle of a continent, become the industrial backbone for the entire Allied victory in World War II? I mean, it sounds impossible. But the answer isn't in some grand military strategy. It's actually in the ground itself. So let's get into it. And really, it all comes down to this simple fact. The incredible power that changed the course of history wasn't something invented in a lab or cooked up in a boardroom. Nope. It was just waiting for billions of years right there. To really understand what that means, we've got to go back, way back. Okay, our story really begins before there were even people. We're talking about the planet itself, about the raw ingredients that were forged by forces that shaped entire continents. So what's really fascinating about Minnesota is it's kind of like a state with a split personality. See, during the last ice age, these massive glaciers came through and flattened most of the state. That's where you get the famous lakes and prairies. But, and this is the key part, they totally missed the southeastern corner. That part is called the driftless area, and it gives us this incredible glimpse of what the whole region looked like before the ice, with these really sharp, rugged bluffs and deep river valleys. And if you think that's old, check this out. In the Minnesota River Valley, you can literally put your hand on the foundation of North America. This rock, Morton Gneiss, is 3.5 billion years old. That's billion with a B. We're talking before complex life even existed on this planet. This isn't just some old rock. It's a direct link to the Earth's childhood, and it laid the groundwork for everything that came next. All right, so you've got this incredibly ancient, uniquely shaped piece of land. The next chapter of the story is all about how human ingenuity took these raw geographic gifts and turned them into industrial powerhouses that would quite literally feed the world. The first key was water, but not just any water. It was this one single geological feature, St. Anthony Falls. Now get this, it was the only major natural waterfall on the entire sprawling Mississippi River. That wasn't just a pretty spot for a picture, it was a massive, concentrated source of pure energy, just sitting there waiting to be used. And of course, people saw that raw power and put it to work. They built these gigantic mills right on the edge of the falls, using turbines to harness that energy to grind up the endless waves of wheat coming in from the Great Plains. And just like that, for about 50 years, Minneapolis became the undisputed milling capital of the entire world. The impact of that one waterfall reaches right into your kitchen today. It didn't just power a city, it gave birth to these global food giants, Pillsbury, General Mills, brands you see on the shelf every single day, all started right there. But Minnesota's geography was holding another secret, one that was arguably even more critical on the world stage. This one wouldn't feed the world, it would arm it for its greatest ever conflict. Now we're going to turn to the state's other great natural resource, one buried deep in the earth, iron. Up in northern Minnesota, there's a place called the Mesabi Iron Range. And this wasn't just any old iron deposit. It was a geologic jackpot. The ore there was incredibly high grade, which is great, but the really crucial part, it was located super close to the surface. That meant you could just dig it out in these massive open pit mines really, really easily. And here it is. This is the number that basically changed world history. During World War II, the U.S. became known as the arsenal of democracy, right? We needed a mind-boggling amount of steel for tanks, for ships, for weapons. Well, over 70% of all the iron ore for that entire effort was dug out of the ground right there in Minnesota. Think about that. This quote really puts it all into perspective. This incredible mineral wealth gave the United States an industrial advantage that was almost impossible to overcome. It just goes to show you that geography isn't just the backdrop for history. In this case, it was a weapon. It was a deciding factor. So this powerful legacy of water and wheat and iron, it didn't just vanish. It continues to shape almost every aspect of modern life in Minnesota, forcing people to come up with some really clever ways to adapt to both the opportunities and the challenges of the land. I mean, just look at the Port of Duluth-Superior. It's a true engineering marvel. It is the furthest inland freshwater seaport in all of North America. To get there, huge ocean-going ships have to travel 2,300 miles in from the Atlantic Ocean. And why does it exist? To ship the heartland's resources, like all that iron ore, out to the rest of the world. And on a more human level, just look at how the state adapts to its own climate. The Minneapolis Skyway system is a direct answer to those brutally cold winters. It's this massive network of enclosed, heated bridges that connect 80 city blocks. It's basically a second city, built one story up, that lets life and business go on as usual, no matter how ridiculously cold it gets outside. So, from creating the steel that helped win a world war, to building cities that literally defy the weather, Minnesota's story is just this incredible reminder of how deeply the land beneath our feet really does shape our world. Which, I guess, leaves us with one last thing to think about. What hidden geographic forces are shaping your world right now?